I just really want to destroy all humans.
2. Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Chris.
And we're IBIF First. Yay!
Yay! Oh shit, my beer.
Destroy All Humans edition, apparently.
Yep.
Why not?
I mean, after reading some of the news that's come out over like these weeks, I could be down for that.
Dude, it's barely 2 weeks into 2022, and, you know, fuck it.
We already lost Sidney Poitier and Bob Saget, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, Bob Saget, man. Jesus. Yeah. And then, obviously, Betty
White right before the new
year.
John Madden right before the new year as well.
Oh, that's right, John Madden. I called him Joe Montana, and I was like, I'm an idiot.
Well, you're an idiot, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
It's because, in my opinion, of greatest football video games ever made, they have John Madden series. Obviously, everyone knows that one. But then you have Joe Montana Sports Football Talk on the Sega Genesis. Easily one of the best football games ever made.
Joe Montana football It's a pretty damn good game. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, Joe Montana Football is different from Joe Montana Sports Football Talk. That was the full title. It had no business being anything, and it was stupid, and it was fantastic.
It was stupid, and it was fantastic. You heard that right, folks. Stupid. Yep.
I mean, like just like horrible camping movie, like the movie Waterworld has no business being ever made. Kevin Costner's a horrible actor, but that movie's solid fucking gold.
Yep.
Fight me. It's a great ass movie.
It's so bad it's good.
So bad it's good. Exactly.
Because it's just so bad. But fuck. And what's hilarious is like one of the things that you learn from like Mythbusters is that their costumes have been reused over and over and over again in movies. Like the cave orgy in Matrix Resurrection or Matrix Revolutions. That included Waterworld costumes.
I see. I get behind that because in my world, that makes sense. That in order to escape the machines, you go out into the water. They can't fuck around with you there, so that's canon. I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. They can fuck around with you there. The octopuses were fucking waterproof.
At the very beginning. I'm talking about this is like pre-war.
Yeah.
Yeah, early. Then they had to move underground, and that then the Matrix picks up. I'm talking about this is pre.
Wait, whoa.
This is the prequel.
Are you saying that Waterworld is a prequel to the Matrix?
It is now headcanon for me, 1,000%.
Oh Jesus.
No, that makes total sense to me. It's just like, shit, there's this war going on, because that's what people would do anyway. Any kind of next world war, people going out in the ocean. The second that the apocalypse does happen, ice caps are probably going to melt anyway. And you know what? On the ocean. There you go. Fucking world. What are we going to do? Robots have taken over all the land. We're living out here collecting our dirt from underwater, where they haven't perfected their non-underwater livelihood yet. And they're coming. We know they're coming. And that's why it's such a big deal.
Oh, man.
We finally unify by finding the island of Everest or wherever it was in Waterworld, and we're just like, cool, now we got to dig into this bitch so we can get away. That's what it all is. That's what 100% is.
Is Kevin Costner's character early Keanu?
Yeah, OG Neo. Yeah, absolutely.
He's the first one.
Oh my god. Wait. No,
special powers?
No, he's a merman. That can't be right.
So we're talking about like 100-year war or whatever it was. Because it was from Matrix to when.
Wait, so he
Neo
evolved
finally came
to have
out.
gills, and then he evolved to not have gills? Or are you saying that the robots purified that portion of his DNA?
Yeah, because then they caught whatever, and it didn't matter anymore. Because. There could be people with gills in the Matrix. We have no idea. We don't go into that shit because it's probably commonplace.
Didn't have gills.
It's probably commonplace.
He didn't have gills.
Keanu was born in the
Yeah,
system.
no, I was saying that he's like a clone.
Oh,
of
no,
Kevin
no,
Costner.
No.
So they purged.
No, this isn't Terminator. This
isn't
Terminator. This isn't a Terminator situation. This is Kevin Costner was the OG Neo. Like, hey, I'm your savior of the original war with the robots by being out in a merman and shit like that. And then Neo
G.
What's his name? Neo Geo, we'll call him.
Neo Geo.
Jesus.
God.
That is some.
Oh, wow.
I will connect that. That is headcanon to me. I think that's very sexy because then they found the island and they dug in and they're like, all right, here's where we're going to build our resistance. And then the robots made waterproof ones and became worse and worse.
And they handed down their cave rave orgy outfits to their descendants.
Yeah.
Because those are ceremonial garbs.
They're ceremonial
from
garb.
The ancient ones. Yes. What better way than ceremonial orgy garbs?
We just really made this a thing.
I think we just saved the Matrix 4. I mean, it's doing so shitty. They could have just been like, yo, Waterworld was a prequel, and people would have been like, I need to see this goddamn movie just for them to make that connection.
We may have just saved Waterworld too now.
There's no saving Waterworld. Waterworld's done. Like it's long gone. If all of a sudden they like spike up and all this stuff like Kevin Costner's going to get another check and be like, "What's this for?"
Well, that's
haven't
what
done
you just
anything
said though. People
worthwhile
are going to
in
be like,
30
"I
million
haven't
years."
seen Waterworld. I need to watch this now." So that people are going to watch it. Kevin Costner's going to start getting residuals from it. He's going to be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
People watched Waterworld?"
This
As stupid as I feel doing this, yeah, you need to go.
Are they sure this isn't Yellowstone money?
Is he in Yellowstone? See, I didn't watch Yellowstone because he probably was it. Like they were like Kevin Costner. I was like, nope.
Nope. That's mentioned. You probably wouldn't watch Yellowstone anyways. I know.
Yeah, that's not really my.
That's like something my
not
wife
my
would
cup
watch.
of
That
tea.
is definitely not something that I want to watch. I'm like, no. All right,
I've
well,
seen bits and pieces, but that's about it.
what are we drinking, boys? What are we drinking? Chris, what you got there?
So I'm going with an old classic, Hesperine Coffee Kolsch.
Nice. Can't go wrong with the coffee Kolsch. Jason, what you
I
got?
can't.
Oh, yeah, that's it, Chris. Just doing some coffee Kolsch.
Yep.
Probably grabbed a
Okay,
sixer.
okay.
Just drinking
Yep.
nothing but coffee Kolsch tonight.
I have some horrible rogue hazelnut brown nectar from Costco. Good old
I'm sorry.
Costco pack. I bought the entire rogue pack just for this hazelnut brown nectar beer, and I will say, it's not the absolute worst beer I've ever had.
But it's
And-
also not the best beer that you've ever had.
But it's still a rogue beer. Now, rogue is so. We've talked about this ad nauseum.
Middle of
they
the
try
road.
anything really hard. They suck it up. They haven't had anything that just knock it out of the park. To me, it's just like I feel like they sell just on shock value and pretty label design alone. I don't know. Anyway, I have that, and then I'm seconding to go down to one of my very good friends for my birthday. Bought me a very nice single malt Scotch whiskey from. Oh God, I looked at the name coming up here. I was like, I'll remember that.
It's not the Gravestone one, is it?
No, it's the one you gave me. That's why I said. That's why I was like,
Oh, I thought you were actually talking about a nice friend.
oh, there you go. Yeah, no wonder why this tastes like ass.
Shit, which one did I get? Oh shit, it starts with a B. I've had it.
Starts with a B.
I've had the brand before. It's not Blanton's. It is not Blanton's.
Texas. No, it's from Texas.
This is
No,
cask.
it's not
This is
Blanton's.
cask strength. No, wait, it's not. It's not a B. Hang on. Texas bourbon.
No, it's a B. It's a B. Valentine.
Balcones.
No, that's
Balcones.
Balcones. Thank
That's
you.
it. Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. Totally walked up and I was like, I'll remember that name. No problem. Here I am. Well,
Yep.
we've been sitting here waiting for you to have all your technical problems, Eric, for like an
Yeah.
hour. So
No, you've been
I
waiting
don't
here
feel bad.
to solve my technical problems, not to have my technical
I've been doing a
problems.
great job.
We don't want me to have my technical problems.
No.
I've been sitting here with your technical problems.
Yeah, that Balcones is good. That's like
Yeah, it is tasty.
it is a single barrels or cask strength. It's like 61.1% alcohol, so that's 122.2, and it is smooth for
It's
that
smooth.
high. Like that is.
And look at that color. I mean, I know people on podcast land can't see its color, but it is nice, multi dark
pretty.
color. And
I think it was finished
Yeah.
in sherry casks too. I
okay.
think that's what it was. It was
It's
sherry
delicious.
or port, one of the two. It was fucking delicious.
See, if it was port, that I don't think it's port because that's one of my favorite things on the planet is whiskey and port. But sherry is still absolutely fantastic. It might be port because that would explain why it's so good. I don't know. Anyway, it's delicious. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. I am drinking some leftover because I totally forgot that I had some tin cup left over from New Year's. So I'm drinking that. And my wife bought New Belgium beer. I've got the Hop Avenger IPA. I don't know if it's any good. Hang on.
Wish I could find their 1984 one. That was such a good year that year that they made the 1984, not 1984
yeah.
beer. That's stupid, but
That's actually
New
not
Belgium's
bad.
also good.
That's not bad. New Belgium is they're more hit than miss in my opinion on a lot of their alcohol.
Remember when New Belgium,
Yeah.
all that they had was just Fat Tire? It was just like, if you want to do Belgium, all you could find was Fat Tire and that was it. And
Yep.
it was just like, deal with it. Now it's just like, hey, they have so much more that you haven't had a fat tire probably in years. I remember the last time I had a fat tire.
I don't remember the last time I had a fat tire.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Quite a bit, but been a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, then you found out that it was actually not a great beer, and they started doing other stuff to keep up with everything. I mean, that's what's been my big thing. I mean, it sounds like I'm just being snobby about beer, which yes, I am. But that's what I love about this day and age is that we can, we're not stuck with whatever, sitting here being like, Alaska Amber is the best amber I've ever had in my entire life. Because no fucking way it is. But you just didn't know better back then. You had no idea of how good it was.
What you had.
Yeah, it's what you had. So yes, is it better than Smirnoff Ice? Absolutely. But now,
I mean, that's not a very like high bar to get over. But
I'm talking about my college days. Right, walk in and be like, "What do we got? What's happening? What's going on? We got Smirnoff Black, or Alaskan Amber, the crab soda." It's just like I don't want it. Okay,
give me some clam.
I remember going to a keg party in college, and I thought it was like so fantastic that they had Amberbach on keg, and I was just like, wow, this place is awesome. They had Amberbach. I'm just gonna like live at this keg and stuff like that. And I was like, this is a fancy ass beer. For college,
I remember when I used to think
Amberbach
Amberbach was good.
Fancy.
Yeah, well, of course, because it was good back then. It was fantastic. It was just like, hey, yeah, I like this way more than Michelob, and I like this obviously 10 times better than Bud Light. But it was just like, nowadays you look back on it, or if you try it again, it's just like, wow. Like I've had Bud Light and I've had Coors Light like within this, well, not this year now, but within a year, and I've been like, yeah, that tastes like crappy light beer, and I remember that, and that's fine and dandy. But when I go back and try like Fat Tire or a Kilt Lifter, for example, Kilt Lifter's kind of a bad example because they've changed a lot. But when I go back and try Alaskan Amber, there we go, another good example, where I go back and I'm just like, I remember really liking this beer, and I tried it, I'm just like, Killian's Irish Red. I bought a sixer of Killian's.
Oh God. I remember Killian's Red, man. We used to get kegs of it, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, we got Killian's, shit yeah. And man, now I can't touch. No, I don't want to touch that shit.
We're old, Eric, because that's all that really is. Yeah,
we are old.
I think I still have one Alaskan Amber in my fridge from like 6 months ago.
You probably do.
Okay,
like,
so I don't want to drink this. I'm gonna get something else.
The bourbon that I got for you, or not bourbon, it's whiskey. It's corn whiskey. It's true blue cask strength, and it is made with blue corn instead of like traditional yellow or white corn, specifically there. And it was 60. That bottle I remember because it was handwritten on the label, 66.1% alcohol, which is.
It is delicious. And what's fun is that it's like a numbered bottle as well. And my favorite thing is that they call it, instead of like a married bottle or a single bottle, or a single barrel, they call it used whiskey. I was just like, okay.
They call it used whiskey? Is that what
it's typed out used whiskey on it? And I think it's because they marry bottles, and then sometimes when they get to like the bottom, or we're like, this is a really good one, they're like, we're actually going to put this one as a single barrel, and then it's used because they used it to mix. But then here's the singleness of it all. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that stuff.
All I know it says nose is buttered toast, grapefruit pith, which doesn't sound very good, overripe banana, fresh cut bell pepper, corn oil, candied pecan, forest floor, cinnamon, and sweet oak. Man, I love when they just fucking just throw out words. Forest floor.
Yeah.
Taste.
It tastes like texture, deer shit and mushrooms.
Oily texture with maple syrup, dried apricot, pralines, cajeta, not cojita, cajeta, Cajeta. I don't know what that is. Jasmine, spice, and of course masa, corn. Finish, warm and long finish with supple notes of raw honey, coffee cake, and dried chilies. That's the only one that actually makes sense when I read that is the finish. Everything else is just like words, bullshit. Just throw everything that we can out at this fucking window or at this wall and see if it sticks.
We need to make a beer that's just like office humor, and then put on it just like notes of freshly opened reams of paper, and it's just like shit like that. That's just like, hey, here's
notes of PC load letter.
We did
here's
that.
your jump to conclusions IPA, and it has notes of.
Oh no, we'd have to
paper,
give Mike Judge a shit ton of money for that.
I'm just saying, like, you know, you do something stupid, like it's just like, I don't know. That'd be fun.
I mean, we already have our own beer. We had our own beer.
We had a limited run.
Not so good.
Oh yeah, this one not so good. That's Jesus. How can I forget? It's because we drank that fucking bar out of it.
So
It's like,
much
we're gonna
of
make
it.
beer. We're gonna make beer that you're gonna help us with, and it'll be like running for like a couple of months and stuff like that. And it's just like, sweet. Well, we're gonna name it. We're gonna make it. This one's not so good because whatever. And then we're just gonna hang out for
not so good.
6 hours and literally drink it all. Like, it was just like, yeah,
And
we're
it wasn't
kinda
just
out.
us. They went through the first keg in 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's like,
You're like, I
get that joke. I get that joke. And we're like, shit, people got the joke. We were really hoping that nobody would get the joke and they'd be like, oh, it's not that good. I don't want that beer. All right.
That was fun.
Now that we've
you
bullshitted
drinking,
enough,
Yeah.
I think we need to move on.
Oh yeah,
to
you
news.
told us. I'm dumb.
News?
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 Snooze?
Who's got the
Nukes.
news?
Who's got the nukes? Who's got the nukes? I got the nukes.
Got to nuke something.
Oh, man.
Not Forza Horizon.
No, you can't nuke in Forza Horizon, everybody. All right. Well, let's just get the bad news out of the way. So we already talked. Unfortunately, Bob Saget's dead. Sad.
Aw.
Extremely sad. Bob Saget died. As of today, they still haven't said what he died of. They
They
did
said
say
that they didn't find any
they
signs of
didn't-
drug
no-
use.
They didn't find any
Yeah.
drugs or drug use, supposedly. He could have got COVID. I don't know. Maybe he got COVID. I don't know. They did say
Wasn't
that
he in a
Betty
hotel,
White-
though?
He was at a hotel. Yeah, but I mean, like, he could have
Yeah.
just been in there, or from all the years of drug use that I'm sure that he has done, because I have heard him talk about cocaine. His heart could have just given out, which does
Given out finally. Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
He just had one too many hugs. It was just like, fuck it, that's it.
They did say today that Betty White died of natural causes. She did not die of like COVID or anything like that.
At 99 plus, everything's a natural cause. Let's just be honest there.
Right.
I mean,
if a
technically
bear
dying of
runs out in the
COVID is a
street-
natural cause.
1000%. If a bear runs down the street and punches you in the face and you're 100 years old, that's fucking nature, baby. Like that you just die of natural causes right there. Like, it's just like, you made it to 100. It's natural now for you to be dying. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's there. I can say this because I just celebrated my grandma's 101-year-old birthday on Sunday. So, I mean, she's old and she even stood up and did a jig. It's amazing. I'm going to live forever. It's fantastic. But I'm expecting to be punched in the face by a bear now. And that's going to be mad.
Thank you for the
That's gonna be how
follow,
you go.
Spider-Fan666. Thank you very much. We are on Twitch, everybody. Just a reminder, so you will get weird shout-outs and stuff like that mid-podcast. Sorry. But
Sorry
yes, I mean,
for those
everything is a natural cause. Like,
that aren't
literally,
watching us.
COVID is a natural cause. Like, saying that that's not, it's like, it's a virus. Unless you're going to admit that COVID was made in a factory.
Downtown.
Mm-hmm.
COVID comes in a can. They were put there by a man.
Another year. Another president of the United States of America reference. Thank you, Jason. But yeah,
Moving to
Sidney
the
Poitier
city, Gonna
died.
get me lots of COVID.
Oh
Moving to the
God.
city, gonna catch me lots of COVID.
Oh,
I'm going to the city, gonna get a lot of COVID.
literally.
Moving to the city, gonna get a lot of COVID. All right, there you go, Eric.
Or you could say, moving to the country, got to get away from COVID.
Ooh,
Moving to the
moving to the
country,
country, gonna
get
away
away from COVID. All right. Now that everybody
Took a
watching us
little
on Twitch
nap
is
with a
gone.
left so twist, put a mask upon her face, and dreamed about a vaccine. I'm there. I got it. It writes itself.
It does write itself. Fuck me.
Writes itself.
COVID comes from a bat and other things just like that from a man downtown.
From a man downtown. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Thank
love
you,
it.
Havian. Thank you. Thank you, Havian. Our chat coming up with some additional solid gold for us. Thank you very much.
President of the United States of America predicted COVID.
They did.
That's it. Makes sense because
actually, technically, I think the Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did everything, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Sidney Poitier died as well. Unfortunately, he was the first African American to win a Best Actor award. You would remember him from a fuck ton of 80s movies because Sidney Poitier was in like everything in the 80s. So, you know, it's sad. But what else is 2022 taken from us? Dreams of Sweet, Sweet Curry. That's right. E3 2022 has been canceled. And they haven't even said if they're going to do a digital version like they did this year.
I hope to God.
They have not confirmed it.
Yeah.
And like people were, it was so much so that they were saying like digital version instead. And E3's like, whoa, we didn't say that. And they're like, oh, you didn't say that. Our bad. So, yeah. I mean, I hope they do, but primarily because fuck Jeff Keighley. That's
Yeah.
I would much rather
would
have
say
digital
that
E3 than Summer Game Fest.
Agreed, 100%. But I want an E3, not that bullshit that they put on pandering to God knows what that wasn't showing off any actual games. Like it was just like that was an extended. It was worse than Summer Games Fest. Just the only thing that beat it, in my opinion, was that there wasn't Jeff Keighley.
Yes. And to be fair, the problems that we had were that we were still in the middle of the pandemic, so a lot of things that were supposed to be announced weren't announced and shown off because timelines changed and everything like that. Like in the last time we talked, we were like Final Fantasy 16 has been postponed an additional 6 months minimum because of COVID. Just, you know, it changes the workflow. Changes everything with it. So that's a problem. But yes, that really fucking sucks. Anywho, moving on. Take-Two Interactive is purchasing Zynga for $18.2 billion.
Fuck off.
Billion.
18.2
with a B.
That's got to be one. I can think of two higher acquisitions, but that's got to be
That's
in the
the
top
largest.
10.
It's the largest acquisition.
No, didn't Apple buy and Facebook buy?
But for gaming.
Oh.
It's gaming.
Oh, for gaming. No, I'm talking
Gaming
about
only.
Okay.
period. I'm talking about period.
Yeah. That's one
Like,
of the. That's one of the largest of all time. It is the largest gaming acquisition. That's almost actually. I think that's double what Microsoft paid for Bethesda.
I mean, and Zynga is in essence just like
Casual
Newgrounds, but for 2020 plus.
You would be surprised at how many people still play Words with Friends.
Oh, for sure. Words with Friends, mobile stuff. Yeah,
it's all mobile
like,
stuff.
What?
That is what Zynga. That is all Zynga is. Hang on, I want to pull up their actual like
GTA 5 mobile
games. Oh, fuck that.
You laugh, but I mean, it's gonna be there.
Farmville 3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Harry Potter's Puzzles and Spells. Game of Thrones Slot Casino. Words with Friends 2. I don't know what the fuck they did with Words of Friends to necessitate a 2. Yes, in this
add more ads.
As Chad is saying, is this going to be another GameStop purchasing congregate? Probably. Although Zynga actually is a game making company, not just like a place to get video games. So, like they've got poker.
$12 billion, though.
What?
$12 billion game company though.
12
billion. 12. Oh, 18. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Jeez.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It is 12.7 billion. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why the 18.2 came
from. News.
Yeah, they actually make the games, not just hosting the games.
Fake news,
hosting the purchase. But yes,
I am just flabbergasted that a gaming, I mean, awesome that a gaming company is making that kind of money and headlines. I love that. Do I wish it was something besides chintzy mobile games? Absolutely.
I mean, they're more than just straight up chintzy, but they're also not good games, like great games. Like,
dude, in the 5 games you listed off, 3 of them are poker, slot machines, and Words with Friends. Like, no, this is
there's like
games.
Match 3 games and Words with Friends and whatnot. I mean, like they're not like shitty, like cheesy ass mobile games, but they are basically like, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. Like that's all that they are. That's all that they have been for a really fucking long time. And I think that they really cut their teeth with Words with Friends, right? Wasn't that the first like main one that they had that really like grabbed
I remember
everybody?
hearing of Zynga before that.
Yeah.
But I think Zynga that was the first one that put it in like everyone's mind space. Because remember talking about Zynga.
Well, it was
like,
Farmville in
ago.
2009, but that was a Facebook game, and I never fucking played any Facebook games. So I think the first game that I had for theirs was Words with Friends.
Interesting.
I think that
I don't
might
like
be
it.
Let's
Whatever.
see here. Hang on, that's Yoville.
Take-Two's going to put it. You're going to play Grand Theft Auto. You're going to be in there, and you have the cell phone in Grand Theft Auto. Guess what you can do now? Words with Friends on your cell phone, in your game.
Yeah, it's
Game
Words
inside
with
of
Friends
game
and
inside of
Chess
a
with
game.
Friends were the big ones that they had, and then after that, it's like Madden 2005 and 2006, and NASCAR 07 came out in March 2011 on mobile.
You're going to be punching hookers in the face, and you're going to get a text message on your digital phone. It's going to be like, Nico, well, it's your turn in Words with Friends. Why don't you play with your cousin?
Yeah,
The
beyond
big American.
Yep.
beyond Words with Friends, Frontierville and Farmville and whatnot, like those are the only like games that I recognize on here. Like they made a Tomb Raider and a Tony Hawk game, but I don't think they were any good. Wizard of Oz, Hit It Rich Slots. I think that was a Wizard of Oz slots too. Dragon Academy, like I don't know what any of these are, but people pay fucking money for them. They made $180 million off of Draw Something. $250 million off of Merge Games.
Oh God, those merge games. Yeah, these are old. This is what your mom's playing, guys.
Golf
This is what your
Rival.
mom
That's right.
is playing.
$525 million. Golf Rival.
Good God.
Yep, it's all that
Why aren't
recurring
we
revenue.
making these?
I wonder if we
Yeah,
might make
it's some
GTA
recurring-
6
Well,
kind
which
of like
Take-Two-
Pokemon Go
which
augmented
Take-Two-
reality style or something. Can you
Take-Two
imagine
is
having
already
to go
kinda like
back
that long
to
term.
actually do a heist? Like go into a bank to do a heist, and you're like, what are you doing? No, they're just robbing a bank.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind me.
Don't
Man,
mind me.
That would get sued so fast. It would be great. I would love to see that.
Standing outside a gun shop, surrounded by children. I'm just buying guns and ammo. That'd
All right.
be amazing.
Okay. Moving on because we're done. I guess we kind of talked about this. Wow. We only talked about this a little bit. We got more information. Farming Sim 22 has reigned.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, reigns. Chris spelled reigns wrong. It's reigns like rain and money.
You know I can't spell.
In Europe. Outsells Monster Hunter Rise, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, Europeans love their farming. What can I say?
Yeah.
It,
And one of them big American tractors
Okay.
up there in Europe.
I was just gonna say, in their defense, they don't get to drive big trucks. Like their streets are way too small. You can't get a fucking Raptor or something like that. However, you would think Forza Horizon 5, like you could drive a Raptor, but you don't get to drive anything giant there. The streets are too small. So this is the
You can't
best way.
drive a John Deere, man. You're not going to spend $500,000 on a John Deere tractor and then bring it
true.
over to Europe. Fuck no, you're not.
Hell no.
Here you go.
Farming
There you
Sim
go.
is a relaxing game, kind of like Power Washing Simulator. I mean, it's true.
It is also an esport.
Yes,
Its
it
own
does
league.
have its own esports league, as we've talked about before. And there is lawn mowing sim now, too, by the way, which is relaxing, and you're just making perfect circles and
Penises.
lines and penises. Penises if you want. The one thing I was watching that because that game's still in early access, and I'm like, so do they like rank you on how crisp and clean your lines are? Like, do they get down to like the inch or like the half an inch level of like, did you overlap at all? Yeah, but they do have it. It's like if you go too fast, it fucks up the turf. So I mean, there's that. But yeah. Anyways, for some reason, Doctor Who's Daleks are coming to EVE Online.
Oh God, you said this in our chat, and I was just like,
that looked
all
like
right,
shit.
EVE.
EVE Online, the same
like,
game that's been around since like 2000.
Good for them. You know what? It's a
2003?
massive economy. It's a massive economy.
It is.
There's a thing for it, and there's stuff for that. And you know what? It's an older game. I mean, and because it existed for so long, so I get it that they have to like dumb down the graphics to make any kind of crossover event and stuff like that. But it just looks so shitty. It just looks so bad, and it's just like it's just why like what are we gaining here? Like being able to like fight a Dalek, you know, out in space with my with my armada, I guess could be fun for like half a second, and that's the only thing I'm gonna take away from this. Maybe I can get like a TARDIS emblem on my ship. I don't know. It just bugs me so much.
Okay, so and here's the problem: the Daleks are the iconic thing. You kind of know, like when you see a Dalek spaceship. Like when you're watching Doctor Who, you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's the Dalek spaceship. Like you recognize the Daleks. You don't really recognize the spaceship. And I'm going to get some fucking like diehard Whovians like, I know what a fucking Dalek spaceship looks like, you fucking idiot. But still, it's like you don't really like recognize the Dalek spaceship like you do the Daleks. Like that's the thing. And the Daleks would be so tiny and minuscule that you can't see them in EVE. So it's the Dalek spaceship. Instead of the Daleks.
Well, I mean, I'll shoot whatever if I can just get it so that every time I launch my missiles from now on, it hits the machine, like whatever I'm shooting at, hits my enemy, and then it just blasts their speakers with the exterminate.
Yes,
like,
and that's what
then that would be worth it.
If I can get a sound that like every time that I shoot a laser just goes exterminate, like I'll be fine with that. That's well worth it. If you know I played EVE Online. I thought about EVE Online way back in the day when it first came out, and even then I was like, that looks like dog shit. I don't want to play it.
No, it didn't look back then. It didn't look bad. I jumped into it. I did the free trial, and I had enough with it from there because once you realize that it's just like Drug Wars on your calculator, you're just like, but with prettier aspects and a little bit more battle. You're just like, oh yeah, no. And then it's just like, hey, if you really want to get good, you got to like really spend some time getting into an armada, into like a guild and all like that. More so
into it.
And and more so than like World of War, Guild Wars, because in World of Warcraft and Guild Wars, you know, you can be solo and just jump in and out, and like you can go off and do your own things and just join in regular guild things. You get to a point of EVE where it's just like you ain't doing shit without your buddies. Like you're just not doing shit
without a fucking fleet.
Without a fleet, You want to go do this mission? You're going to be carrying a lot of gear and a lot of expensive stuff. People are going to be hunting you. You better have your guild with you because it's going to be shit coming at you. So you can't just like run stuff. And then in which case you get so good at this game that you can either be completely balls to the wall all the time or get back to a level 1 stuff running like spice back and forth between planets. And it's just like, where the fuck? Why am I doing this anymore?
That's very true. All right, we're going to stop talking about that now. Cyberpower has made a breathing vent case, which is not what I thought it was when I read the headline. But then when I watched it, I was like, it's kind of cool. Mildly pointless, but kind of cool. So when I read that, I thought that they actually like adapted the breathing like CPU like cooling system, which if you watch this YouTube channel where a guy he DIY perks, and he made a breathing like air chamber that would move air. So it was a fan that was quiet. It was like whisper quiet, and it breathed and it moved air through that. And then he connected it to his computer, and he was actually able to cool it using that. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe they did that. They didn't. Instead, it's the front of the computer case opens up in like all these weird little patterns, these geometric patterns, to allow for more airflow or restricted airflow when needed, which is kind of cool. It's also just pull the front off of your case, just give straight air access to your fans.
I mean, it's definitely made for the idea of it being aesthetic and a non-gamer. Because just like, oh, it varies at the speed of your fan. Just like, is there a speed besides max?
Yeah,
because
if there is, this computer doesn't know it.
Exactly, because it's just like, I don't think I have anything else. So it's just like, it's definitely meant for people. It's just like, hey, I see that you're writing a Word document. Guess what? Your computer's going to look artfully nice while it has just some things open. Just like, ooh, did you just open a PowerPoint? More things are opening. Ooh, it's getting exciting.
How many tabs of Chrome do you have open?
Exactly.
The weird thing is
that's your fourth tab of Pornhub, my friend. We're opening up all the vents.
You open up a fourth tab of Pornhub, man. It's that shit's on. The cool thing is that it actually has the very much like 70s aesthetic, that like we all liked about the NVIDIA stuff. But I was expecting like all RGB'd out since it's Cyberpower, and that's not what we got. But it's a cool concept. From an art standpoint, it's actually really cool. I like it. They're only selling it with specific models of their custom builds. But if people like it enough, they'll sell it as like a case. Which would be kind of cool. I wouldn't like swap everything out in my computer case for it, but you know, it's still cool. I like certain things that are art, that it is still functional. It's not to say that it's not functional. It's just redundant. So it is functional art, which is good. Functional art is awesome, but it's also redundant functional art. All right. Let's see here. Sony has announced the successor to the PlayStation VR. Aptly named the PlayStation VR2, everybody. Let's give it up for Sony. Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Sony. Yeah. Not just that. All they did was just like with the PS5, where they just changed the 4 to a 5 in the same font, just added a 2 at the back of it. That's it.
Why pay for anything extra? I mean, that's the least of my problems. My problem.
I want to work in their marketing department
so much. No, you don't, because they don't have one. They don't pay for anybody. It's just like,
no,
hey,
they pay people a shit ton of money, I bet, to do that, and they're like, "Fuck yes, that's awesome. Good job." Good job, like bare minimum.
I hope I like that even better. I hope you're so right that there's just some like giant Chad back there. It's just like a 2. And I was like, fuck, it's a 2. You took exactly what I said and you made it into like gorgeous art. Oh, you're a genius. I just love the idea.
Chad is asking.
Take the rest of the year off. It's January 2nd. Yes,
go. Take it off. Here's your $500,000 bonus for making that. Sweet.
You met quota. You were supposed to have this done by July.
I'm retiring to Mexico.
Exactly.
Is the PS5 compatible with PSVR1? Yes, it is. There's actually an adapter that I have somewhere that you have to get that converts that proprietary plug that they put onto the PSVR into a standard USB plug. Which is what they're going to use moving forward, because you don't need a standard proprietary plug. You can just use USB 3 because it data transmits just enough. It is supposed to have dual screens instead of the singular screen like they have on the other one, simulating 4K resolution. So right up there with the Valve Index as far as its resolution, if I remember right. And it's going to have eye tracking that I guess will help with panning, maybe. They haven't really said how that will work. There was a paragraph that talked about eye tracking, and it still didn't say what eye tracking was going to do. And yes, there are multiple games that you can play on the PlayStation 5 with PSVR. Really, Moss and Fuji are the only ones that you need, though. I'm gonna be honest there. Moss especially is like the only one that you need. Just get Moss. It's like $15-$20 on the PlayStation Store. Well worth it. That game's fucking awesome if you have a PSVR.
Yep.
In fact, you know what I use the PSVR?
You can get on PC too if you have.
Yes, if you have
an
Oculus
PSVR setup
or a Valve Index or anything,
or a Quest. It's also native on the Quest, I think.
That's what I said. I said Oculus. Sorry, Oculus isn't a thing anymore. Meta. If you have a Meta Quest. Sorry, my bad.
Or get an Oculus Rift.
It's a Meta Rift.
Meta Rift.
It's a Meta Rift. No, the Oculus brand is no more. All right, but yes, you can play that. I'm actually really I'm I have a VR that I really need to hook up and just play Moss again because I want to play Moss again.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's
we need to get Chris back on the podcast.
Yes, we do. They need. Well, actually, we can because Moss 2 is coming out. They've announced it, and it's going to be coming out. Dual screens, blah blah blah. Oh, Horizon Call of the Mountain has been announced, and they actually showed some video, and it looked very, very much not lifelike. It looked very much like a current gen VR game. I'm like, that doesn't. No, but it looked about as good as Horizon Forbidden West, which is good. That's saying that's good because if it looks as good as that game does, so it's not.
I hate VR so much.
Realistic,
I hate it,
but
I don't like it at all. PSVR, Oculus, I don't care. I mean, there's fun with it. Beat Saber's cool, all just like that. But spending the money for this kind of stuff, it's just still there's not enough here for me. You know what I used the PSVR for the most when I had it? It was to play games, normal games, on the simulated big screen because my wife would be watching TV, and I was just like, I'll just hang out with you and play on my VR. And
you mean when you had my VR
screen in my face? Yeah, and well, my father-in-law has one too, and I borrowed it from him plenty of times just so I could play Moss and shit like that. And then I was just like, I don't care to do any of this normally. This is not my thing. And in Arizona, especially, it's just you have 3 months so you can play this thing when it matters. Otherwise, just you have your headphones, you have your thing. It's just your face is totally covered except for your mouth, and it's just you're dead. You're just fucking dead.
Normal people that actually utilize their air conditioner can play games.
No, anywhere,
regularly,
anywhere.
Jason, though, who's the cheapest motherfucker that there is.
I don't care. I don't care if you keep your house at 7. I don't care if you keep your house at 68 in the middle of summer. That thing's just you're baking. I'm sorry.
No, the worst thing about a VR is animals and kids. That is the worst thing about a VR.
Punching him in the face.
I accidentally hit Ronan with it once. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be over there. I told you stay on the couch. And then I stepped on the dog 4 times. I'm like, get the fuck out from underneath my feet. I can only imagine if I do it with Callie in the room now because she's just all over. She's right up there,
face? Always underfoot.
Oh, come on.
She'd be punching you in the dick constantly.
Oh yes.
Oh man,
this is really realistic.
She'd make a game of it because you'd go to swat her away. She'd run away. You wouldn't be able to do anything because you couldn't see her. Then she'd come back and be like, "Man, this is the best game ever!"
Critical hit.
Oh god.
Oh,
didn't we talk about this already? That Bless Unleashed development and publishing has been handed off to Valve for what?
It was.
I feel like we talked about this, and I don't know why.
I don't think we did on podcast.
Did we talk about it in our chat or whatever?
Maybe. I swear we talked about it. I swear we talked.
Either way, and it was date-wise, we're okay with it, I guess.
I don't know. Bless Unleashed development has been and publishing has been taken over by somebody else for some fucking reason. We can't figure out why.
Wait, we did talk about this. Why did we
see? That's what I'm talking about. Maybe we just talked about it on New Year's.
We might have. Because I think it was right around New Year's when I posted that
or did we talk about it on Cutscene? Maybe we talked about it on Cutscene for some reason.
Maybe before Cutscene?
Move on.
I don't know. It's a game that, it's actually been out for a while, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to read this exactly as Chris wrote it. Konami continues to be stupid. NFT's unique digital works from throughout Castlevania history auction. Oh, that was you, Jason?
That was me.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can forgive me for thinking that you didn't actually do anything on the podcast.
I know, right? I'm not even upset. It's just effort put forth, definitely not Jason. Definitely not Jason.
Definitely not.
Well, surprise, motherfucker! I did bare minimum.
A thing.
Yeah. So they're having an NFT auction for a bunch of original artwork from Castlevania, and God fucking damn it, it's just like you can't stop it. Gaming companies are going to love NFTs. They're going to gobble this up. And don't get me wrong, that every single gaming company, I don't care who it is and which one's your favorite, they're watching this auction to be like, let's see how much money they make from these idiot whales. We're going to come in there and be like, I own the real Belmont NFT. And it's just like, no one gives a fuck. No one cares. But just like 20 years ago, we're just like, oh man, these loot crates aren't going to stick around. That's crazy. No one's actually going to pay money for this shit. I'm done being wrong with that. Someone's going to pay money for this shit. It's going to happen, and get ready for it. And what's crazy to me and also bugs me the most is that it's not going to be gamers that are going to be buying these things. It's going to be just the people who right now are just throwing money at NFTs, and the whales that are just like, whatever, I'm just going to be buying up whatever I can. And if it has any kind of recognition and possibility of being a turnaround to it. So it's not even like you can be like, well, I'm not going to buy that game, or I'm not going to like support it because whatever. Because at the end of the day, like us being like, hey, don't buy this game because it has NFTs in it. People that are buying NFTs probably aren't even going to read that review. Probably aren't going to listen to this podcast. They're just going to be like, whatever, NFTs. And, so get ready, guys. NFTs are going to be here, and it's going to be shoved in your face nonstop.
NFTs are fucking dumb. And you're right. Yes. People, like, things are only worth as much as people will pay for them. And it's surprising how stupid people can be. And it's not just NFTs. I mean, look at, like, baseball cards, where they have a misprint for a guy that means nothing, like a catcher for a team that's like the second string catcher, but they fuck up one thing on it, and that baseball card like goes 500 times in value. Because of that, because it's so
coins too. Aren't these all just NFTs? Like coins, we're only assigning value to them because we assign it. Same thing with dollars. Have a misprint of a dollar. Ooh, all jazz like that. Same thing. Yeah,
people do that with dollar misprints too. So.
But that's what they're hoping with NFTs. And NFTs are just like, it's rare. Definitely not just something I created.
Part of me doesn't want to discount NFTs because it's art. And art sells. And that you get into the whole thing about art. And art is only worth what people will pay for it. Someone kill off these video game developers because that's how they're going to really go up in their NFT. No, don't do that. But
no.
It's like, I really don't want to
if you go into open...
in like regards to that,
go on OpenSea.io. OpenSea.io is like the largest like NFT like auction house type thing, like the eBay of NFTs. And go on there and look at like predominantly what's on there, and we can have a nice conversation of what art is. Because I can tell you right now that some of the shit definitely shouldn't clarify as art.
White Angels of Camargue. It's two horses fighting on a beach. Two white horses fighting on a beach. Chimera by MPKOZ, which is, that ain't no chimera. That's flowers, but really badly done flowers. God, Jesus Christ. Actually, some of these are good. There's Gray Thanos with a beanie, with a propeller beanie hat on, and it looks like Nerf blasters around him.
It's crazy. And again, I'm with you, Eric, on how like you can't discount art. And no way will I ever get art. And I'm not gonna say that I'm some kind of art savant or anything like that. What bugs me is the feigned exclusivity behind it.
Yes.
And that's what bugs me. Like, because if you go and buy a Monet or something like that, and it's just like, yes, you did buy that Monet, but you could be like at the Monet gift shop and buy a poster of it, but then you'd be like, I have this poster of the Monet. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, it's just like, yes, you do have that poster. That's the only poster. That one is the only poster of that one. It is true. That is technically what an NFT is. But people will be like, well, no one else can have it. It's just like, that is true.
I own the original, but I can go but get one for this thing.
Very close.
And digital code is not easy to replicate at all. You can't copy digital code.
It's the false exclusivity that bugs me, and that's why I'm just like, anyone that's just like, oh man, I spent thousands of dollars on NFTs and I can't wait for this to blow up. I guarantee you, if you look at their financial history, it's probably not something that you want to be listening to. in a financial aspect. Now, if you go to a CPA or fiduciary and they tell you to liquidate and buy NFTs, fucking run.
I want to know what the conversion is for this money. They have like this. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. They're special.
Yeah, and it's like this current one, which it's like a GIF of this like morphing abstract flower painting. $90 to almost $9,300. $9,300.
They're fake.
Oh! If I zoom in with my mouse, it like morphs and does things.
I mean, there's literally one that's just like someone took a picture of Bruce Willis, and he's like at an interview and he has like a weird face. And
I thought you were saying that was the Thanos ones that I saw, because that's what they look like.
No.
They look like Thanos and Bruce Willis had a baby.
They put like the pixel filter from Photoshop on it. They're just like, bam, NFT, motherfucker. There you go. Buy it up. Buy it up.
That's
like,
just
there's
Bruce
so much
Willis.
stuff in it.
Prove
you know
that it is, bitch. Prove that it is.
Yeah, he doesn't look that pixelated. If you are an artist, put your shit on NFT, because if someone buys it, guess what? Free money. Who gives a shit? But it's just like, if you're coming in here and being like, oh man, my gorilla, NFT avatar is much better than your gorilla NFT avatar. I'm sorry, like, you might as well be talking to me about the Insane Clown Posse. We're just not going to be there as friends.
You mean you're not a gigolo?
Wait, we don't want to talk about being a juggalo?
No.
It's juggalo. Thank you very much. Not a gigolo.
Gigolo is a male prostitute.
Yes, it's a juggalo.
Yeah, juggalo.
You want to know who would be actually really into NFTs? Probably Juggalo.
Juggalos are all about it, dude. Oh, there's this whole thing. It's Bitcoin bears, and this one is Heisenbear, and it's a bear version of Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, and behind it is like this GIF of the periodic table, and it's flashing and giving me a fucking seizure right now.
There's so many things. I don't know. Anyway, that's my rant for the night. It bugs me, the exclusivity of it all, but whatever.
And Square Enix has like doubled down. Like, their CEO is like, we're going hard into NFTs, and everybody was like, no,
yeah, they will.
Please don't. Japan Twitter was all over it, because he sent it out on January 1st. He was like, you know what? It's a fucking weekend. What better time to post something that is going to change the landscape of our company? And sure as shit, he did. January 1st, he's like, I fucking love NFTs. We're going whole hog into it. And Japan's like, fuck no, please don't. So, yeah, NFTs are bullshit. All right, going into information that you didn't think that you needed to know, but god damn it, you're happy to know that it's there. Yoko Taro, the guy who developed the Nier series, has confirmed 2B likes KFC.
Sure do.
It is canon. Small backstory, somebody posted a picture of a cosplayer as 2B at a KFC in Russia eating, and he replied, he said, true. Which is the best thing, because it's like, if he says it about Nier, then it's true. 2B likes KFC. Yeah. That's it.
I mean, KFC.
To be fair,
to Japan, though. To be fair, KFC to Japan is like saying like, hey, 2B likes Santa Claus in America. It's just like, okay, of course, because it's like integrated into
China.
Their holiday. Like,
same thing with China.
Like,
they love chicken. Okay, it's an Asian thing.
They love fried chicken. Yeah. They love fried chicken. But Japan is all about KFC. Like, they have.
So it's
like,
China, though.
It's like
we've talked about it when you went to China. Like, they were all about KFC.
They're all about the fried chicken, because they can't get KFC everywhere for multitudes of reasons. So
none of it having to do with the Chinese government at all.
Yes. So it is definitely a big thing over there. So yes, I can like, if he said anything but true, he would have been castrated by everybody in Japan. Being like,
I mean,
bullshit.
He could have just not said anything, but he said true. Which means,
because he probably fucking loves KFC, because been grown up on this shit like forever. Like it's just
I
like,
love KFC
Yes.
for Pete's sake.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
No,
do. Actually, I
you
really like
don't.
it.
Not to
I
that
really-
level.
I really
Not
do
to that
love
level.
KFC. It's delicious. Like, I really wish there was a KFC that was closer to me. Like, the nearest KFC is like 7 or 8 miles away from me on like repeated red lights. Like, every time that you want to go there, you're going to be stopping at red light after red light after red light. It's going to take you 30 minutes to get there almost. And then 30 minutes to get home. I'm like, I want KFC.
So
And yes,
when are you
the
gonna stream?
potatoes. Oh,
I love you, Colonel Sanders.
no, I'm not doing that. Potatoes, as Jason said, best
I did.
thing at KFC. Also, the biscuits. The biscuits are
Biscuits
are
covered
good.
in potatoes.
The biscuits
Take
covered
that
in
biscuit,
gravy.
you jam it into your potatoes, and then you just cover it all with gravy.
I'm-
and you're
I-
just like, ah.
But I'm gonna say that
You might as well
do it
go get a fucking Cinnabon and just like mash that right on top as well, and be
No,
like,
I don't
I'm
want
getting
that cinnamon.
cinnamon.
I don't want that cinnamon. But I mean, let's be honest. You could have the biscuits in just like a fucking tub of gravy, and you'd be fine. You don't need the potatoes. The potatoes are good, but it's that non-chicken gravy, because that ain't chicken gravy. I can tell you that right now. Chicken gravy ain't that brown, and the fucking biscuits. That's what you get. It's right up there with when we were helping Daft with his order so that he could get his Dorita at Red Lobster. We're like, all right, here's what you do. You go up, you sit at the bar. It's like, well, what am I going to order? We're like, you order 24 Cheddar Bay biscuits and a pint of cocktail sauce.
I bet you the pint of cocktail sauce would have been the most expensive thing if he was able to do that.
Just edged out by the cheddar biscuits. Because
Oh,
I looked
that's
it up.
amazing.
I
Yes,
looked
yeah,
it up
I would-
on their online ordering system. I was in chat with him. Like we were playing a board game on Spooky's channel, and he said something. I'm like, hang on, I got you, dude. And we came up with his order for his Cheddar Bay biscuits. All right. Okay, we're gonna go back to bad news. Bad-ish news, but I mean, like, really, let's be honest. Who didn't see this coming? Phil Spencer is now non-committal about Activision Blizzard and what Xbox is going to be doing with them. So,
Well, I think
before-
he's just not being public about it. It's kind of why I kind of read about it, but
he's not. He's
Yeah, Trump
saying
didn't.
that they're.
Trump
he's
didn't say
saying-
anything about Epstein either. So
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
saying that they're not going to talk about it, but he's also not saying anything about it. He's like, we're not going to. God, I want to pull back his actual comments, but basically, like saying like we're not going to judge a company by their CEO because CEOs are appointed by board members. So we're not going to judge them and penalize them for what the CEO has done. And it's like, fuck you. It's not just the CEO. 1, 2, the CEO runs that goddamn company, and 3, the money that you're giving them is what pays that fucking CEO his gobs and gobs of fucking cash.
plus,
And it's-
isn't the board part of the company? If the board's
Exactly.
assigning someone that's a horrible person. So
The board is horrible. The company is horrible. Like you can't penalize the developers, but like everything that is in there is the entire, like all the problems is all the entire executive system of that company. The people that are actually making the money that you're giving them by allowing them to make games for it. The best thing that they could do is be like, you know what? We're pulling certification for Xbox. If they wanted to. If they really, really wanted to. If they wanted to actually like do something to cause a problem, they could do that. And you know what would happen? There'd be a fucking shakeup at Activision Blizzard, and there would be people fired because they would need to make sure that that is taken care of.
I am now very wet at the idea of that happening.
oh my,
Oh,
Delicious.
my.
Jason just came in
That
his
is
pants.
delicious.
Everybody.
I
And
did. It was just like, oh fuck.
You know what needs to happen?
That'd be fucking amazing.
You know what needs to happen? Our Canadian friends up north that actually just like suck his dick all the time need to tell him this, because he's not going to listen to us because we're a bunch of idiots. But he'll listen to those people that suck his dick all the time. They should do that and tell him, like, dude, this is what needs to happen. Like, even if it is go, you know what? We're going to do it, and they're not going to call our bluff. It's fine. But even if they do call your bluff, you will be fucking applauded.
They could fucking do it for a weekend even and be like, you know what? You can't play Call of Duty online at all on all of our platforms for this weekend for this reason.
Yep.
Fucking deal with it. You don't like it? Tell Blizzard.
But that's
Tell
what I'm saying.
Activision.
It's like, if Blizzard calls their bluff and it's like, fuck you, we're not firing them. We're like, fine. And then they go out and be like, hey, we tried, guys. They won't do it. We really tried. Right. So we're just not allowing it on our consoles. And everyone would be like,
well, yes. I mean, you couldn't like, there's a difficult balance there. There's a difficult balance there because you don't want to like silence people to being on your platform, which it's your platform. You do what you want, of course. That's why I'm saying if you just did it for like even a weekend, just to be like, hey, we tried, we did our thing, we put it out there, we made it very public, we made it very obvious. Just like everyone go play Battlefield 2042, and you'll realize how bullshit this is. Then you could easily like get some traction behind that, and then you wouldn't lose much. A solid weekend. The bad PR that you would get from like moms calling up being like, my 8-year-old can't play Call of Duty would probably be worth it to be like, hey, you know what, we're doing this because Blizzard's a bunch of fuckholes.
No, I don't agree with pulling online capabilities, because it's the same thing. It's like, people want to fucking still play Overwatch. Fine, you fucktards that want to play Overwatch, go for it. Give them the online views. And granted, yes, they already got their money from you. It's like, that's it.
Right.
Like, so it's like you own that game and whatnot, but you pull every Activision Blizzard game from your store. 100%. Just boom, every one of them gone. That's it. You're no longer
so they're still
selling
supported. You're just not selling it anymore. We'll see. I don't think they're getting that much. I mean, I think that because I mean, where are they getting their money?
You can't block, like it's a very slippery slope of blocking games. Like I don't think that blocking, because you're not affecting just that company, you're then affecting people, and you're going to get pissed off people. And yes, the negative PR is good, but you can't just be like, no, accreditation gone. We're not selling any of your games. None of your games are allowed on our platform anymore. You can't buy them anymore. That's it. You own it. That's good. It's good. But you can't buy them. You can't make for us anymore.
Yeah, I mean, perfect world. I agree with you, Eric, 100%. But that is, as a business out to make money, that is a risk, especially since Activision, and Blizzard, as much as we don't want to, is still a major producer and publisher of games. So it's just like, you can't bite your nose, spite your face. You know, it's just like that is a hard call to make. So I get them not doing that. That's why I said, you know what? I'd rather my company, like let's say it was us, let's say Eric, you know, we finally like confirmed 100% the lecherous activities that you do are now public. I'm tired of holding your secrets back. We're just gonna say like, you know what? Bat's not streaming this week. Sorry, it's because he's a horrible, horrible human being. You all can watch me stream my boring ass games and look at my ugly face instead.
Yep. I mean, if you didn't know that I was a horrible, horrible human being already, you were like, what's wrong with you people?
Should be opposite by this point.
It's actually the opposite. Actually, Eric's a really nice person. This is a facade. He's actually donating so much money to like childs. We do that. Fuck.
We did. I donated hundreds of dollars to Extra Life came from my family.
I can't.
Like not even like my family, like my wife and I. So it's like we donate lots, and it's like, man, shit, stuff and things and bullshit and everything. But yes, okay. In hilariously juxtaposed news there, Steam is issuing refunds for anyone that wants one for Battlefield 2042, as the game has dropped well below 10,000 concurrent online players. So
it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where it's just like, I have a bunch of buddies, and you guys know these guys so much that they probably all text you the same thing. They're always just like, Jason, what do you think of this game? And I'm just like, don't do it. It's going to be trash. And they're like, fuck you. I want to play this game because I like this game. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, it's just like, man alive, this game's fucking trash. And it's just like, It's like I do this all the time or something like that.
All right, case in point, I got a message the other day from somebody that was talking about that fucking Dungeons and Dragons game that came out that Bulldog played on stream. That I was like, it's on Game Pass, and it's like, you should play it.
Is
I'm like,
that really bad one?
What?
Is that really bad one? That
the really bad one. And they're like, dude, I found a game that you'll probably like. It's Dungeons and Dragons, and I looked at it. I'm like, I know that game. I'm like, that's not a good game. Like, it's really bad. Bulldog played that game. I've talked about it with Bulldog many times. I thought about playing it, and he played it for me so that I didn't have to. And fuck that, I don't want to play that game. He's like, no, you should totally play it. It's like, it's cool. It's like, looks like it's going to be good with multiple people. I'm like, a lot of the problems are a lot deeper than just single player issues. Yeah. Like, so it's like, well, yeah, that's a problem. Oh yeah, that's a problem too. Yeah, that is. I'm like, yeah, it's a hard pass, but thanks for thinking of me, dude. I'm like, sorry, but no. All right, let's see here. Jeff Ross, the director for Days Gone, is not happy that Sony is disappointed with Days Gone, despite the fact that it sold better than Ghost of Tsushima, and Sony is applauding Ghost of Tsushima for selling 8 million copies.
So I think this all comes down to the matter of timing, because, Tsushima sold a lot of copies, and it's still technically in its first run. Like, we haven't seen a $20 version of this game yet, right? And at the other side of it is this including it being on the PlayStation Plus collection?
I don't know. I was actually going to say,
if he is counting that, it's just like, then you're full of shit.
It sold like 1 million Steam copies too, I guess, like a million copies on Steam. But
which
you got to look at it from
Ghost is not on.
Yeah, you got to look at it from two different aspects. Okay, one, Ghost of Tsushima is way higher rated than Days Gone. By like
Days Gone
20
is amazing.
points.
Don't get me wrong.
By like 20 points though. Like from a rating standpoint, from reviews,
because it looks amazing. Like it's the best looking PS4 game. Like, period. It's just amazingly looking game.
Ghost of Tsushima or Days Gone?
Ghost of Tsushima
is
easily the best looking PS4 game.
Runs really good. Where they had to
slow down.
Slow down. No, yeah.
The load screens were almost instantaneous, but not quite instantaneous enough for people to like not visibly notice. And like for them to not have a load screen, so they're like, okay, well, we have to slow down the loading so that people can read the load screens, and then have them in there. But two, if I'm right, I believe Ghost of Tsushima costs a lot less to make than Days Gone as well. So you got to look at the return of investment as well too. So there's many additional factors, let alone just how many fucking copies of the game you sold. Fucking Madden sells fuck tons of copies every year. Are they good? No. Call of Duty sells fuck tons of copies every year. Are they good? No. Like, that's like how much you sell versus how much it costs to make and how good the actual game ends up being are two completely different things.
Well said.
Yep.
Can't argue that.
All right. Oh, also, so yeah, Jeff Ross, just go fuck yourself, dude. Zotac has announced a refresh to their bare bones thin clients that include 3080s and 11th series i7s, which granted are laptop level ones, but still you want like your 3080 set without it having to be a laptop or whatnot, and something that you can connect up to multiple screens on. That might be the way to go. It's a bare bones set. It can take up to 64 gigs of RAM. Granted, it takes SO DIMMs, but SO DIMMs are actually easier to find and cheaper to buy than standard DIMMs because of the fact that they're not used predominantly in rigs for mining crypto. So you've got that going for you. Plus, then everything's there. It's a high end Core i7. It's like an 11800 if I remember right, and a 3080 or a 3070. Depending on which ones you get. Like, that's a good solid set. They haven't given price yet, but since it's a bare bones kit and it doesn't have everything, you still have to buy an SSD, still have to buy RAM, things like that for it. It's not, I have a feeling it's not going to be that bad as far as its price goes. And then it's a small thin client. It's better than the The laptop that I didn't put on here, though, that's a laptop that has an external giant fucking cooling tank, a liquid cooling tank for your 30 series graphics processor on it. It's like a laptop, but it's not a laptop. It's like, what's the fucking point of laptop? You should have just made a desktop of that.
I mean, they've had that for years. Yeah.
Yeah. I also didn't add this in here, but Razer has shown off at CES a desk that looks like it's part of the Starship Enterprise, and it has like all the components that are inside of it for their high-end laptops are just all spread out under plexi or under glass, one of the two. I can't remember if it was plexi or glass, with RGBs and everything like that. And then the ability for a giant fucking TV to go on it that just looks like it's part of the desk.
Yeah, I mean the touch aspect of it all is what's the future thing to it.
That was actually pretty cool to look at. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched Tron, that's what came to my mind first. It was just like you touch the desk, you do the things, you touch the desk, and it was just like, yes, I want to touch my desk. I want to be like my volume control is over here on my desk. I don't know fucking why. I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna move it right here in front of me, and I'm gonna put my elbow on it and blow my eardrums out. And be like, oh yeah, that's why it's over there.
That's why it's over there. Actually the same website that I talked about earlier, DIY Perks, he actually made a desk like that, but with a full fucking blown RTX graphics card, like full computer set. It's really fucking dope because it looks classy as opposed to futuristic. Yeah, if you go on like just search on YouTube for DIY Perks, this guy's got some cool shit on there. All right, Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox. Not Game Pass, as some people were announcing, and then Ubisoft was like, no. It's not part of Game Pass. We're just coming to Xbox.
We're just putting it on the consoles.
Yeah, so.
Calm down.
Hooray. DRM for DRM's sake.
I mean, if you were excited about that, I feel bad for you. Death Stranding Director's Cut is coming to PC this year thanks to 505 Games again. Because they just fucking do everything that they possibly can to port things. So you get Death Stranding Director's Cut on PC if you haven't already played it. All right, let's see here. Chinese video game regulators have not approved any new company licenses since July of 21.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
It's actually prompting a lot of companies, a lot of video game developers and whatnot to actually like start looking to leave China because of these issues.
That's right.
And it's part of the crackdown that we've talked about before of China is like basically like equating video games to opium. It's like it's their new opium epidemic. Like literally that's what they're calling it. It's like it's their new opium epidemic there. And that's the big issues that we're having with it. But yeah, they haven't approved a new video game business license since July of 21. So that's something to keep an eye out for. I'm trying to think of what's the bigger things. All right, Intel is forcing motherboard manufacturers to remove AVX512 instruction sets via firmware updates because they don't want people to know that their cheaper processors can process AVX512 as well. Which AVX512 is a video codec that gets used in a lot of like cloud systems and whatnot. And it's primarily like they want like people to buy like server sets and things like that. And people found out when they booted up their new Alder Lake processors, like, holy shit, I can process AVX512. And Intel's like, no, you can't. We never approved that to be part of the instruction set for the processors. So they're having it removed from the BIOS. So
wow.
Don't update your BIOS on your Alder Lake motherboards if for some reason you have an Alder Lake motherboard and processor right now, because if you need to have AVX512, which it's not really used that much, but there were actually like websites that were doing performance tests on it, and it was doing extremely well, and its performance like went really well with it, and they're like, okay, I don't know why Intel wants to do it other than money. It's the same thing as what we've talked about before of like where all processors for the most part are the same fucking like chip, and they just hard disconnect like cores and stuff like that, and they sell it to you for cheaper for some fucking reason. I don't know why. They're like, yeah, no. We just disconnect these cores and threads, and now you pay less. Like,
well, I mean, it's the same way thing with ISPs. They're sending you the full set. They just come out here and put a filter on you, so you can't get as much.
Yes, but that's slightly different because they want you to pay. Like, you can upgrade and pay more, but they're just like, no. Here's this $800 processor. Actually, the processor costs them like $30. Let's be honest here. The processor costs them $30 to make, even when they charge $900 for it. And they're like, well, we just sever these cores and we don't install this level of cache, and it's a $200 processor instead of an $800 processor.
It's for the fab. If I can bust these out in mass,
yes,
and all I have to do is have some monkey at the end cutting shit,
then
great.
Oh,
then
no,
I don't have to create another fab
hilarious.
to create this thing.
It's just hilarious, is all I'm saying. It's like, I honestly say, and it's granted, this is going to be a problem, give me the one, but charge me less. And that's it. It's one size fits all, but boom, here you go. You get a Core i9. That's what you have.
Core i9 is
$300, and it's $300. That's it. It's the only processor that you get, and it's $300. It's just hilarious. All right, let's see here. The Ascent is coming to PlayStation 4/5, according to, Google Notes here. Google Docs is telling us that PlayStation 4/5 is 4/5. So that's a console, everybody. The PlayStation 4/5. And
you heard it here first.
Yes, you heard it here first. And last but not least, because fuck, we've gone on for, actually, it hasn't been that long. We had a lot of issues with computer issues and whatnot. So we're barely over an hour right now. Adaptable transistors could reduce CPU transistor counts by 85%. And I don't want to go like deep into the tech on these, but basically they created an adaptable transistor that can't, like, normally you've got one that turns on and then off. And they've got a way that you can have one transistor be on and off and regulate the flow of electricity. I forget exactly what it is that they did with it, to where they because it's not silicone based either. It's hydrogen. It's not hydrogen based. Fuck. I forget what they made it out of. But because Chris added this in here, and I'm like,
and I saw you post it, so I was like,
I'm really trying to remember what it was. But basically, they made it so that
facts.
it can turn on and off and do the work that normally you have to have multiple transistors to do, and make it smaller. And yes, germanium. Thank you, Havian. Thank you. Havian read the same article. It's germanium based. So they have germanium based transistors that are able to do the same workload of what you get with the silicone ones. And they were able to fabricate germanium, which was the cool part. Is they're able to fabricate germanium in a lab so that you don't have to like mine it, because germanium's not like a really like naturally found element. So they're able to make germanium. So there's a process for making germanium, 1, and 2, converting them into transistors. So yeah, they found
themselves some alchemists.
Yes, an alchemist. That's right. they had an alchemist, and they were like, all right, draw this circle, do the hand thingies, boom, germanium. I haven't read it, but I've been seeing tons of chargers being pushed with the new tech now that improves efficiency. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's germanium based, and it was like Belgium or something like that where they came up with it, and it's like, holy shit, that's awesome. It's like way future tech. It's the same thing with supercapacitors. It's one of those things of like they'll be talking about it for like 10-15 years before they finally put it into practice. But like supercapacitors can charge so much faster. They just need to figure out a way to get the tech into people's hands safely. And that's it. All right. We are done with news. That's right. We're done with news. Who's got games to talk about?
I got some.
Go.
All right. We'll start with Chris, everybody.
I don't think I talked about this one on the last podcast. I mean, I did during the best of. But I did play through and beat Kenna, Bridge of Spirits.
Yes, you didn't get a chance to actually talk about it during a normal podcast. You only talked about it on our year
Right.
review.
Yep. So that was a lot of fun. Beautiful game. Easiest way to describe it's like a Pixar movie, animated movie, which kind of fits because Ember Labs, who developed it, is an animation studio that does like animation stuff, like for kind of stuff like this, and they're like, hey, we want to make a game.
I was gonna say, it was their first game, right?
Yeah, this is their very first game.
And it plays like Pikmin, right?
Kind of.
It's like God of
also,
Pikmin.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got the staff, and then eventually can also use this that you use to hit, but it also eventually you unlock the bow capabilities of it, so you can actually shoot arrows that kind of recharge. And then like the Pikmin, the rot in this can do like certain things, like hey, let's help you solve puzzles by moving things around, or it can like latch on to like a boss or enemy to kind of immobilize them for a minute, so you can get some hits in. A lot of dodging, blocking. Combat's actually kind of almost like Souls-like, where it can be kind of difficult. Or I just suck. Either one. That could be it too.
We'll go with Souls-like until somebody else plays it and realizes, oh
Yeah.
no, Chris just sucks at video games.
Yep. But it's about 11, 12 hours, I think, to get through the whole game. So not terribly long. Definitely kind of pulls on the feels a little bit, because the idea is you're ushering in spirits that are kind of stuck, that have like died, and kind of solve them, so then they become like this corrupted mass, and you're trying to save them, get them to kind of move on from this purgatory kind of state they're in. And then it goes into their old cutscene, like it's like, oh, okay, I'm sad. So
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
You can't just say you're sad. Like, you have to actually act like you're sad.
I love that
I'm
Chris
sad.
just all that Chris plays, like he has now made it his mission to like only play sad games on Twitch.
Sad games.
yes.
He's like, hey, come cry with Chris. Like that's the
He's
new
a
thing.
sad boy.
CCC, come cry with Chris.
Yes. So I played that, so that was really good. So that made my Game of the Year list.
It was number 2, right?
Just in that, I think so.
According to the list that you sent me, it was number 2. So I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Yes,
the list
yeah,
that
so there's number
that's
2.
the list that got put up on the podcast note. So I'm hoping that that's correct.
Yes. I reread my list when I sent that over. So I also played, which is on stream. It's an older game, but Guild of Dungeoneering.
Oh yes, I saw you play that.
Yeah, so that one's kind of like a card-based, like roguelite. So basically,
yes.
you're running a guild, and then like with the money you get, you can purchase cards that can build out your guild base, that can do different things, like give you different blessings that you can choose to go in before you go in a dungeon, or different dungeoneers or adventurers that come to join your guild that have their own card base sets, or different like kind of loot so you can pick up when you're in a dungeon. And then you select one. If you have blessings, you can select one of those blessings. You go in the dungeon, and you get randomly selected cards that you can just drop down to kind of help build the dungeon out, whether it be kind of loot, enemies, or just the actual kind of layout. And you have like a different goal, like kill 3 enemies, kill a boss, or loot these 3 chests. So as you go through it, and then when you run into an enemy, you get in a fight sequence where now you have your fight cards that are based off that. And then you get loot after that, a loot card, which is now an equipable item. And those can also give you different cards to use in battle, in like kind of turn-based style, or just like additional health. And as you level up, you get another health, a little heart for your health bar, and that's And being like a roguelike, each dungeon you go into, that person is now new, or goes back down to level 1. They do become new after you kind of die a lot, because roguelite, they're going to die. And you're going to try again. But, I mean, I'm not a huge like card-based kind of guy, but I had fun playing this game on stream. So it was...
You named like all your characters after people in stream and us, right?
Yeah. So like I killed
died,
like
didn't
3
I,
times.
you fucktard?
Yeah.
Didn't I die?
I killed you.
You fucker.
Yes, I killed you like once or twice. I killed Jason once or twice. I killed myself like 3 or 4 times. Dath and Sin both died like 3 times.
Of course,
died.
Bringer and Havian didn't die though, right? I'm assuming.
No. I think I killed Havian. Maybe Havian might have survived. I think Havian died. Bringer died at least twice.
So we're sensing a pattern here. Maybe you really do just suck at video games.
Yeah.
Although card-based games are very much like at like the will or the heart of the cards, as you will.
Yeah. So you're based off what the cards you draw, and then it's also kind of roguelike. So I think the game's geared to you dying a lot. And just kind of replenishing, because like once the first person dies, you unlock a free graveyard card. So it's like, hey, the graveyard can fit unlimited amount of gravestones. You monster.
Amazing.
But you monster
Amazing.
meaning way to suck at games.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're just killing off all these people. But yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that game. That game was pretty good.
Are we ready to score it?
I think I'd probably give it about an 8.
It reminded me a lot of the Munchkin, like card game that you can play, like actual card
Like
game.
a digital
They have
version
a Munchkin. They have a Munchkin Dungeons version where you're kind of building out a dungeon as you go along and stuff like that. Only obviously you're building out a way more random dungeon than what Munchkin can provide. But the idea and the premise behind it is very similar to that. Obviously single player style, but I liked that a lot. The art style is fun. It's very much akin to like, hey, remember playing D&D, with a buddy or by yourself even? I did that. It was just one of those things where you can I can see I'm creating my own adventure and having fun with it. It was neat.
Yep. So that was fun. I don't think I've talked about this one before, but Blacktail. Did I talk about here before?
I don't think so.
Blacktail or
Black
Black
Tail?
Backbone?
Blacktail.
Blacktail.
So I did play that on a stream once. We got access to the pre-alpha version of it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So during the Game Awards, they had a demo on Xbox that you could download and play for free. PC version, you need to be a little bit special, get a code sent to you, and so they sent us one of that. So that's based off like Slavic myth of the Witch of the Woods.
Oh yeah, this is the one that's Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds familiar, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, kind of looks familiar, but yeah, this is the one that's Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga. She exists as children, and she does everything, and she kills you. The Baba Yaga come for you.
She's in a witch. She has a house that has chicken legs. It's
Baba
good.
Yaga.
Yep.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga, which by the way was also the witch from God, what was that dungeon game that the NIS came out with? And it was Hot Baba Yaga. Shit. Hang on. NIS.
Oh, with your puppets, right?
No. Damn it. Shit. Labyrinth of Refrain. Coven of Dust.
Oh.
Yeah, Labyrinth
your
of Refrain. Puppets? Puppets?
Yeah, wasn't it puppets?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Labyrinth of Refrain.
Coven of Dust. Or of Dusk. But it was Baba Yaga, and she was like this big tittied, like hot chick with
Playing
one
as
leg.
puppets? You're playing as puppets.
You're not playing
You're
as
playing
puppets.
your characters Your characters are just puppets. They're not like actual human beings.
No. There's monsters and stuff like that. But either way, though, Baba Yaga. You know Baba Yaga. Big tittied anime woman with one leg. Anyways.
Yeah. But Blacktail was a blast.
Did Baba Yaga have big mushrooms though?
You never saw yourself.
Oh,
and I think at this point, this is like the beginning of it, I guess.
Oh, okay.
This is when you're still like a young little girl, so.
Oh yes.
So massive.
Yes, I envision myself as a big tittied witch.
Do not assume my cup size. Did you just assume my cup size? No, you did not. No, you did not. This is a solid
and gender.
triple D
and
right
gender.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Solid triple D.
No. This is 2022. Gender doesn't matter anymore. Do not assume my cup size. We're fluid here. We're good.
We're cup size fluid.
But I got big ass titties.
We're cup size fluid.
No. Gender fluid. We're fine. We're good. But my titties are huge. They're fucking gargantuan.
Real life?
They feel
I can tell.
Very big.
Amazing. IRL
feel
great.
Very, very great.
They so big.
Did you just assume my cup size is the best thing I've ever heard?
What's the command?
Oh man, I don't know which one. That not all the things work. You talking about the Keck W one? Because that's right.
No.
Oh my gosh. I appreciate you.
There.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, the quote. Did you just assume my cup size? Yes.
But in Blacktail, I mean, you're playing obviously the Witch of the Woods, Baba Yaga. You got your bow and arrow. They kind of go around through crafting your arrows, trying to find your sister to kind of help you out, then you're running these mushrooms. They can help you out repair this bridge, but in order to do so, you gotta do some stuff for them. Gotta go to one of their friends, and there's different little things where you do evil or good, and there's a little boss battle. Took me a couple tries to do it. When I tried to play it again, it was a little bit
Sorry,
hard.
no, I'm laughing at I'm laughing at other things. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, again, Psycho Games. But I had a blast playing it. I really enjoyed it. I streamed it, so it's also now on our YouTube. If you want to go back through, watch my playthrough of it, see what you think for the first about hour and a half or so of the game. Really fun. Other than that, I did play some Second Extinction with Havian and Bringer, which I was able to get that free
Not
off of
the
the Game Pass store.
And the Hellbringer.
Yes, the very same. So that's kind of like a Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead kind of game where you and some party members, but like you drop down, you got your different hero type classes, and you drop down into this world, and you got some. It's kind of more of like a bigger open world, but instead of like zombies, it's dinosaurs.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you gotta-
that's right. Now I remember the game.
Yeah. So now you just run around killing dinosaurs and try and solve different missions before you kind of hop back out and get extracted back to the main base. And, I mean, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's still kind of early access, so it's not like fantastic, but for the price of free, I enjoyed myself.
Sorry, okay, so the reason why I was laughing, Chris, is because I'm looking at all these pictures of Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, and I'm just being reminded as to why that game is not 100% whitelisted on the Nintendo Switch that the kid has access to. And there is a rule of certain games that he is and is not allowed to play, and Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk is not one of the ones that he is allowed to play, and I explicitly told him, like, that game, no. That is not for you, buddy. And I'm just like looking at the 4K wallpaper of big tittied Baba Yaga sitting on a desk with her arms folded under her breasts and her breasts accentuated. on it. I'm like, yeah, nope.
How's your son now? How's your
He's
son now?
9.5.
Release the Kraken, man.
Not yet. Not yet, dude.
Let that dude.
Baba
Let
Yaga.
that dude find that Baba Yaga.
No.
Because if he doesn't find that Baba Yaga, he's gonna find his teddy bear. And I don't know what's a worse conversation to have, Eric. I don't know what's a worse conversation to have.
It's the conversation that I just don't want to have right now at all.
Oh, it's happening. It's
I
happening
know
right
it's
now.
gonna
It's
happen.
that long special bath time.
Trust me, those conversations have already happened.
I would much rather, as a non-father, this is much easier for me. I would much rather have that conversation with a very big titty lolly like anime girl than with like a promiscuous cat picture. I would just
You're just trying to make sure that I
rather.
don't raise a furry, which I don't want to happen.
I'm just looking out.
I mean,
for
I'm
you,
not
Eric.
kink shaming,
I'm just looking out
but
for you.
still, furries aren't my thing. Okay, all right, sorry. Oh,
And
but
let
it's
me-
not
like,
just
let me
Baba
put it- I'm not
Yaga
saying-
in that game. There's Marietta, which like I'm looking at. Marietta's the one with the eye patch, and she's got even bigger tits than Baba Yaga.
Bro, I'm not saying push it upon him. I'm saying like, here, Ronan, play this smut. Don't do that. But just like let him find it organically. You know what? Let's remove the Google search blocker on boobies.
He
just
is
for a day. See what fucking happens.
You know what? You know what game he just finished? Dragon Quest 11. You know what game he actually like beat all three? He even beat Colosmos on it. Dragon Quest 11. He just finished that. Like he put all that time in over Christmas break, 100+ hours to level his characters up and beat Colosmos. Which is like that's applause right there. I'm like, buddy, I did not have the time to go through the third ending. I got to the second ending. I got to that third phase of the game, and I'm like, yeah, ain't no one got time for
Boo,
this
you
shit.
just hunt down silver slimes, man.
That's
Just
the
hunt
problem.
silver
Is
slimes.
you have to
No
hunt
time.
down silver slimes. It's like
There's
I got
that one island out far. You put on the like gear that brings
but
him out
he
further.
did.
Takes a half hour.
He completed everything. I think he may have 100% of the game, which is saying something for a 9-year-old kid.
To beat Colosmos, you have to. But okay, not taking away from the celebration because that's really cool of Ronan to do that. But do you remember when you were 9 years old? Like you were playing like Donkey Kong Country or some shit like that. I don't remember how old we were.
No,
when
I'm
that
really
show was going
fucking
on.
old. Are you kidding me? Donkey Kong Country
Barely
was out
younger
when I
than
was
you.
9.
How old
Donkey
was I
Kong
at
Country
9?
was not
What
out
that?
when I was 9 years old.
That was 93 or something like that. What
Not
was I
for
playing in
me.
93?
Not for me.
Yeah, for you it was like it was in
It was
television,
1990.
and you had your imagination to look at boobies in video games.
I had
and your
Roll.
imagination is 10 times worse.
I had Roll. I had
times
Mega Man's sister.
Yeah, exactly. And your imagination is 10 times worse. Samus,
mine's
the
so
first
bad.
time her armor busts, the first
Oh,
time her armor
oh.
explodes, you're just like, oh Jesus,
Oh shit.
and it was done. It was done. It was like, you're the girl, fuck yeah. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter because that pixelated shit was all your fucked up brain needed to see
Tomb Raider?
when you're 9 years old and stuff like that.
Tomb Raider was
it was
well
done.
after.
It was done.
I was a teenager by that
Yeah,
point.
Tomb Raider, that's PS1, man. I was
Yeah,
buying consoles at PS1. That was just, I had a job.
You didn't have a job,
No,
maybe late PS1.
I had a job, like I earned the money to buy a PS1 type thing. Like
I'm like,
it
I
wasn't
didn't even have a job when the
taxes.
PS1 came
I wasn't
out.
paying. I wasn't paying taxes. I was earning money.
I was
say that.
15 when Final Fantasy VII came out, which actually is the game that he is now playing right now. Because primarily, as the good but also horrible father that I am, I got sick of hearing about Dragon Quest XI. Because that's literally all I've heard about for the last month was Dragon Quest XI. And finally, he beat Colosmos and he did everything, and I was like, dude, we're on the way to school this morning. This conversation happened. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm done talking about Dragon Quest XI. It's been a month. That's all you've talked about. You beat the game soundly. It's time to move on to a different game. I downloaded multiple games onto the PS4 for you that you can move on to. I would highly recommend that you play Final Fantasy VII as your next game. And what was
Put them
he
on
playing?
builders.
What?
Dragon Quest Builders.
No. What game was he playing when I came home from work today? Final Fantasy VII. And he's like, that scorpion robot was hard. And I'm like, yes, buddy. That scorpion robot is hard. I'm like, did you remember to use electricity on him? Yes. I'm like, okay, good. So, yes. I am both a good and a horrible father all at the same time, because I'm just like, I'm done, dude. I can't talk about Dragon Quest 11 anymore. He kept asking me questions. I'm like, dude, it's been like 4 years since I played that game. Come on. Give daddy a break here. I don't remember.
Heal.
Cast heal, and like, and then you try and talk a 9-year-old into putting the best equipment on. It's like, but the auto thing says this. I'm like, yeah, the auto thing's not always right, but it's auto. It's like chooses the best. I'm like, sure, bud, whatever you say. It's not always the best. Either way, though, I digress. We went from Baba Yaga to talking about parenting with video games.
Yes, that's what we do. That's what we do here. We also talked about your child masturbating. I don't know if you caught that too much, but we did cover that.
No, you talked about my child masturbating, you sick pervert. There's no we in this. Jason deserves to have a court order.
Quality podcasting.
All right, Jason, go.
I haven't played too much since my birthday. I haven't really been able to spend too much time gaming. Been kind of going around and stuff like that. So I'll be quick. I was gifted Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is great. I wasn't like, it's not bad. It's not. I mean, it's better.
I've played a little bit. It's
not
okay.
amazing.
It's better than Odyssey. It's still not as great as Origins.
Oh, no.
I enjoy Norse mythology a whole lot more than I do a Greek apparently, mythology. Because I have a little bit more. I have a little bit more patience for the bullshit. Let's just say that seems to be there.
Norse mythology is very much less condescending. Like, Norse mythology is very in your face, like, fuck you. Whereas Greek mythology is just like, I'm a god. I don't care.
I think it just came down to the presentation of how you had to solve your situations in Odyssey. And Odyssey was just like, hey, here's this mission that you're going to go on. It's going to be totally different. You're going to have to, like, follow this guy secretly. You're going to have to go into his cave and secretly follow him further. And you're going to have to, like, kill some people. And then there's going to be a giant base for you to take everybody out in. All right, that was kind of cool.
Because if there's one thing the Vikings are known for, it's their stealth. Mission...
Yeah, well, this next mission. No, I'm talking about an Odyssey. This next mission, you're now gonna have to go. You're gonna have to follow this guy, go into the cave, and then there will be a big base for you to take everybody on. Okay, all right. And this next mission, there's gonna be this guy that you're gonna follow for a little bit. You're gonna go into a cave, and then there'll be this base where you kill everybody. Okay, all right. Now this time we're gonna make it different completely. There's gonna be 3 different missions. Your first mission, you follow this guy. Mission done. Good job. You did it. Second mission, go into this cave. Oh, you did it. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Third mission, final mission, big arc. Go to this base and kill everybody. Holy shit. Good job. That was Odyssey. It was just like, all right, I don't give a fuck about this game.
The same thing over and over again, but then also split into multiple segments.
It's different. Yeah, it was like, there were some parts. The storyline was fun. There was some, like, the mythical stuff of it all was good, but 99% of that game was 80% over and over and over again. Valhalla so far, I'm not too far into it. I've only done, like, the first arc or whatever, and I'm having at least enough fun exploring and getting around there. And they do enough of a difference of how they present the map to you and present the different things that you can do. It's just like, I don't feel like I'm just constantly doing the same thing. And you're right, Eric, they do not push stealth at all. They're just like, you're a fucking Viking. You can go in there, you toot your horns. No, you shouldn't. You toot your horn. I mean, the entire thing is that, like, you're starting this game and you're not an assassin. Like, there's an assassin there with you that's just kind of like, hey, I'm just hanging out.
You're a Viking.
You're not an assassin. You're a Viking. And you're going there to fuck people up and steal their shit. Like, that's what the core of that game is. And it's so far been fun in that aspect, just because it's just like, yeah, you know, I'm here for the battles. And then it doesn't feel forced. You know, where in Odyssey it was just like, I'm an assassin, I should be not doing this, but it's faster. Where in Valhalla, it's just like, fuck it, I'm busting down this door, I'm going to kill everybody.
Let me ride my direwolf.
I'm going to steal their shit, and then I'm going to leave. I wish you could ride a direwolf. So far, I haven't gotten that far yet. But
you can.
It's still
you can.
Assassin's
If I remember
Creed.
right, you get a direwolf mount. that
Alright,
you can
cool.
that you can run.
It's still Assassin's Creed. It's still the same style of gameplay. If you've played Origins or Odyssey, you know this game already. There's nothing new. There's nothing that they've totally revamped to make it different for the Viking.
No, they just made
era
it
and stuff
less
like that.
assassin.
Yeah, it's less assassin. Well, I mean, it's just how that story goes, and it's fine. I mean, again, to me, like what I enjoy about the Assassin's Creed franchise is the actual like current timeline storyline. Like that's what keeps me motivated. It's like I love hearing about Layla and what's going on with her and like happening so far from this arc. Desmond was my OG, so anytime I can hear about Desmond in any of these games, which they constantly go back to him because they know they fucked it up. They fucked it up so hard. They could have had just like an absolute banger of a full series and just be like, hey, it's current times and you're now an assassin in current times. You like Batman Arkham Knights? Guess what? It's fucking
Why
Assassin's
haven't
Creed.
they done that yet?
Because they're stupid. They're stupid. Because they're riding the train of being like, hey, we're making money just by making the same fucking game, but different time periods. Like they're holding on to their card of going to Japan because they know that that's gonna like sell out gobs and gobs and gobs.
But
so
you
just
could
like,
you could do assassins in different like cities. Like you could just bring like, boom, we're now current day. You're doing this shit mixed with digital weird shit, and then you move from city to city. And different games are different ones.
The canon, they shot themselves in the foot of being able to do that. But what they could do is they could even doing like, hey, we're now in the future and we're doing current day shit. So I mean, they could have had so much more they could have done with this, but they decided when they killed Desmond, and that's how sour I am about this. They killed Desmond in like 3. And I'm still so sour about them doing that because just like that was such a great story arc they had going on,
and they just I wrote an article about it too of how they could move on from 3, like if they didn't kill off Desmond, of how they could tie all the areas together with like they move on from the Revolution War to now the War of 1812, which then goes back to the Mediterranean, or like going through the launch of the U.S. where they go to the Mediterranean for that kind of stuff. And then you bring in the War of 1812. You're in England. You
could have gone to World War One. You could have gone to World War Two. Like there's so many things that can be done.
And
they've pulled such gymnastics of how the system works, because the whole thing with Desmond is just like, hey, you're a link to the precursors, and that's how we know your history. So everything that you're seeing, that's what the original intent was, is that Desmond's special because we can now see his entire lineage back to the dawn of time. And then we'll see on how all these artifacts and stuff like that work through Desmond's lineage. And they had to pull all kinds of story gymnastics when they killed off Desmond to be like, oh, yeah, I guess that's not as important. It's just the people that we find that we can then travel back to. And they're special for whatever reason.
There's his other people.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely, like, you can totally tell they pulled the Lost, where it's just like, we have a great storyline created for 3 seasons, and then ABC came to them and was just like, we're going to give you gobs of money, and they're just like, we mean 9 seasons. We're going to keep this thing going forever, and it's going to be trash. And that's kind of how I feel about Valhalla. Now, obviously, it's an open world game. There's tons to do. It's fun with that. I find myself actually engaged to want to go back and play it some more. I like the main character. I think I'm playing female. I think she is fantastic and very engaging. So there's enough for me to want to play it and to come on back. Ubisoft has their tons of bullshit that they usually do. Buy stuff, do stuff, extra missions that are the same fetch quests for.
There's so much extra you can buy for that game.
They do so much crap. They just don't give a crap, and it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna keep moving. And if you have that mentality, it's entertaining in itself. Otherwise, you can easily go down a spiral of just bullshit. Otherwise, the other game I've been playing obviously has been Don't Starve, which is just my always standby. You just can't stop playing this game. I just can't stop playing.
I saw you playing that on New Year's Eve. I'm just like, fuck, of course Jason's just playing Don't Starve right now.
It's my favorite game. Just like, hey, I have only X amount of time. I don't really want to invest in anything. I'm just going to jump in. Just Don't Starve. Genshin, I've been playing enough. I don't really like talking about Genshin too much just because it's Genshin, but I will mention this, that I made the most classic of blunders.
Oh god.
I was hardcore wanting Ito for 2.3 or whatever it was and stuff like that. 2. I thought he was cool. His play style was fantastic. I was just like, yeah, that fits with how I like to play this game, because I don't look for the meta. I don't
Yeah.
look to min max.
Although
I'm just like, who do I like
Ito,
playing around with?
Ito is the meta for that. Let's be honest.
Well, he was the meta
He's
of
the new
that
5-star
time,
meta. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not looking to make like a Geo team or anything like that. I'm not looking to like min max them like all the way crazy. I'm just like, I just want to play like the people that have the play style that I like.
Crystallize is cool, but it's like it's like you have to have a very specific play style if you're looking for Crystallize. But he's also just kind of a badass in general.
Yeah, it's just fun to play as, and his characters like he's funny. Like so, I was like, I'll rub for him. So I push hard. Like over the year, they gave you a free welcome. Like, hey, here's the 90. And so I rolled for that. I was like, whatever. I'm a free to play player. I haven't bought really anything on this game. And so I was just like, I'm gonna play this game hard, logged in all the time because you want to get the welcome stuff. And I played all my stuff and got the stuff because I was like, I want Ito. So I rolled hard, and I didn't get him, and I ended up with 90 pity. I was just like, fuck. I got
hard pity.
I got hard pity because I got Diluc as my 50-50. And I was just like, fuck. All right, well, I'm not paying money, so I'm out of it. So I was just like, all right, that sucks. All right, what's coming up next is Shen He and Xiao. And I was like, well, I remember Xiao being badass. So I reran the trial for him. And I was just like, oh, yeah, Xiao's pretty dope.
Oh, Xiao's still fucking dope as shit to play.
I was like, this is fun. I would play as Xiao, no problem. Sounds good. Earned enough for 10 wishes and all that stuff like that. I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Bam, 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 XXX. Congratulations, you just got Shen He.
But she's just a 4-star though. That's the thing. Is there is another 5-star?
No.
What?
No, she's the 5-star.
Did you run on the Shen? Did you run on the Shen He banner instead of the Xiao banner?
I ran on the Ran banner.
Oh, you ran on the wrong banner.
Ran on the wrong banner.
I mean, Shen He's waifu material at least.
She's waifu material, and her storyline's fun. So there's that. But I was just like, I got her to level 20. I was just like, I have zero desire for a crypto polearm player. Like, I have zero desire for it. And you're so slow. I don't like it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, Xiao's just so fast.
It was like, yeah, cryo polearm. I'm like, we already got fucking goth waifu mommy, like Rosario. I'm like, why? What do I need another fucking cryo polearm for? I'm like, I got that. That's what I got. And then I've got big titted waifu. I've got booba sword. I'm like, I don't.
So I have Shen He, and I don't know. I hate it. I stopped. I haven't played for like 4 days now, which is weird. I mean, I knew you should jump in there just to kill some time, but I haven't since then because I was just so pissed at myself. Totally my fault. Totally my fault because I was just like, yep, wish, because I'm used to it. Single banner, it doesn't matter. Bam, bam, bam. And
if it's any consolation, the algorithm is different on Xiao, so you may not have gotten Xiao.
Sure.
I'm going to throw you that. Like, that math works differently. Like, you're granted, you still have, like, the guarantee after X amount of pulls, but you may not have pulled Xiao.
No, because that hard pity you would have had to have. Because that's the whole point.
But you hard pity
5-star on 50-50.
Yeah, you hard pity Diluc.
50-50 Diluc.
50-50 hard pity Diluc. And then you still, it's like once you pull that, well, then it's 50-50 like on that, and then you lost the 50-50. That's your pity on that point. Like, you hit hard pity, and you get 50-50 Diluc. You got Diluc. And then at that point, your count starts over again.
Right, because then you have to get to another 50 to get.
You got to get to another minimum 60 before you have higher chances, and then it's 90 again when you have a guaranteed. So there's no guarantee you would have gotten in that, and I only remember that because of the fact that I had pulled a 5-star and then I pulled dual booba sword. Remember, off of hers. It's like that's where your thing is. Like, every time you pull a 5-star, it restarts your pity. Because you're then not going to get, like, I had to recount off after Bulbasaur. I had to recount my fucking summons, and then I'm like, and I got hard pity, and thankfully got mermaid chick. What's her name? I fucking forget. I don't even fucking use her because I have Mommy Jean, and Mommy Jean is still best DPS / healer that you can get in the game.
Sorry,
fuck,
I
fuck
love
you
the
guys.
other
I don't care what you
sister
say.
with the other sister with Barbara. Now that she's DPS healer. Oh my god, she's the best.
If you get the right weapon on Barbara, she can actually do really well.
Dude, the artifacts, the clam one or whatever.
The new artifacts too. Yeah, you get the good artifacts with her. I leveled the shit out of that. She can do really well. But anyways, yeah. So 2.4 came out. Genshin, I've played some of that. Phasmo came out with their Christmas update. I got to play some of that, which was actually a big update, and we've talked about it to where they added in like a bunch of cursed items, and they did a bunch of things with it. They actually came out with a brand new update today that fixed some additional things and whatnot, and actually removed the Christmas stuff, unfortunately, which sucked because we're no longer going to have like elf hats on, and we're no longer going to be killed by Santa. Which sucks because getting killed by Santa was awesome and shitty all at the same time. So I played that. I played a little bit of DBD. Like I've played a lot of the games that I've been like currently. It's like everyone's like, oh, you should play it. I did play Forza Horizon 5. I did finally like go back into it, especially after we talked about it on our 2021 roundup. And they did fix the convoy system, which is good. I do like that they fixed the convoy system. They didn't fix some of the other gripes. I still think that I wouldn't have added it onto my top 5, like just by fixing the convoy system. Fixing it so that like you could run any car that you wanted to and things like that. Like that those are things that I think still need to be fixed in order to get this game up. But still a solid game. It was on my honorable mentions. Everybody else had it like at some point on their top 5 list. Great game. And I have been playing more of my number 1 game of the year, which was Tales of Arise, because it's a long ass game. And like realistically, all you need to know about that game in order to make it game of the year, in my opinion, is everything you pick up in the first 10-15 hours with it. Gameplay, story, graphics, like everything about that game is top notch. It's a fucking amazing game to play, especially if you like JRPGs. I do like that even though there's big titty girls in it, it's not in your face. So this is actually a game that I could think about like letting Ronan play, because it's it has to do with asshole tyrants and slavery and all sorts of things, and overcoming that and overthrowing the dicks and so on and so forth. So it's good with that aspect, and it's not overly in your face. And again, one of the things I really like about this game is how heavy-handed they are with aesthetics. And it's not so much even aesthetics that you have to purchase for it, because like you can purchase, like I paid like $5 since I got the game for free from a friend. I was like, I'll buy this pack that gives me the Code Vein outfit for the main like female character. I can do that. That's fine. But even that, the costumes that you get to where you can adjust, like sure you change to a different armor set, but then you can go to whatever costume it is that you liked the most that they actually created an aesthetic for. Plus then every time you meet owls, you get all these cool little like add-on things like dog ears and cat ears and bunny ears and glasses and halos and devil horns and all sorts of shit. And you can make like some really cool like combinations with that, and every character gets to have like 2 like just random accessory bullshit like pieces. So they really wanted you to, even though it's a linear game, quasi open, it's like you can go out and grind, but really it's a linear type game. You can't just like go and pick up like gobs and gobs of side quests within it, but they did give you the ability to make it your own, which is really cool. And it's a really good story, and it plays extremely well. It's nice and fluid. It could have been a little bit more optimized for like the PlayStation 5 as far as its load times and everything like that, but it's still extremely fast in comparison to what you get on like a PS4. I feel like we're getting like spoiled by the PS5 now, to where it's like now we're at like milliseconds, like it didn't load fast enough. It's like it's like now we're like true. man, it's so much faster on this game, and you're like, it's still so much faster than anything else that you had before. It's like fuck. But yeah, it's like I haven't really been playing like any new games. It's all the current games, Genshin and everything else that just continually go through it. It's really hard to find time to play those games, as well as adding in new games within that too. But It is what it is. Such
It
is
is what
life.
it is.
Yep.
I mean, and it's not like we're in like heavy game season right now. I mean, we just talked
No.
about earlier in the news that everything's been delayed like crazy. So it's just like, yeah, unless something's really tickling your fancy or Game Pass is like launching something that you're just like, I've been wanting to play that forever. Yeah, you're kind of in like this backlog clearing time, guys.
Yep, pretty much. Although, one game that I do want to play that I am going to probably play on stream is Persona 5 Strikers, which is part of PlayStation Plus for January. So if you've got Plus, get Persona 5 Strikers. You can get
that. It is literally a sequel. It's literally a sequel.
It is literally a sequel to that game. It's got a good story and everything that goes along with it, and it's like a Dynasty Warriors type game with an actual progressing story instead of the same. I mean, Dynasty Warriors has a progressing story, and it is the romance of the Three Kingdoms, but it's the same story that's been regurgitated over 9 times in Dynasty Warriors games, plus all the romance of the Three Kingdoms games that they had before that. So that's all the same story. This is a brand new continuing story, which is awesome. And there's also God damn it, what's that dwarven game that's on PlayStation Plus? It's like
the mining one.
Yeah, it's like Black Rock something or other. Yeah,
I thought you played that and you hated it.
Yeah, I played it. It's all right, but hey, it's free on Plus. If you've got friends that you want to play that type of game, I hated it because I don't like those like mine shit. And then
I don't like mines.
That's not me.
Yeah,
that's not my type of game. But if you like those games, like that's actually a good game because it played well from like a physical standpoint. It's just like I don't like that repetitive, monotonous bullshit. But that game is free on Plus as well, so I would highly recommend picking that up if that's your type of game. If you're like me and you don't like that, don't fucking pick it up because you're gonna hate it. Although, get it anyways. It's free. You might at some point get somebody that's like, hey, let's play it. And you're like, all right, cool. I got it for free. I'll play it. Why not? But Persona 5 Strikers, hardcore, grab that game.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to get that one.
Well, that's it. We got through all our news. We got through all the games we were playing, and that is the end of our podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the IBIF podcast. Thank you, everybody on Twitch, for joining us as well. You can find us at ibitfirst.com or ibif.co, which will give you all the links in order to find the IBIF podcast, Cutscene, which is our anime podcast, and Patch Notes, where we do interviews with game developers about literally anything but their games. You get about 5 minutes of their game talk, and then everything else is just about them and is a hot dog, a sandwich, and stuff like that. But you can find all that at ibif.co. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, Google, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Audible. Like we're apparently big on Audible, according to the emails that they sent us. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that goes with that. But sure, we're big on Audible, everybody. But you can also find us Facebook, IBIF1st.com, Twitter, IBIF1st, Instagram, IBIF1st. You can also watch the podcast live every time that we record it on twitch.tv/IBIF1st, as well as random bullshit that happens with streaming. Literally, it's like Sunday we do D&D, Monday's podcast, Tuesdays whatever Chris decides to do, and Wednesday and Thursday are me, and then if Chris or Jason decide to stream on Friday or Saturday, you'll get something on Friday or Saturday. Probably not always going to happen, but you can find us pretty much a lot of the times on evenings, Pacific Standard Time, on twitch.tv/IBIF1st. We will be rating out to anybody that is watching on Twitch, so please stick with us. And without further ado, we can't end any podcast without Jason saying,
Eric sucks.
Here comes two.
That's the end. That's the end. That's it. That's it. We're doing it. That is the end. That is the end of it.
Love it.
And great! My audition stopped recording at some point around an hour, so we're using the Zoom recording. Everybody, all right. Thanks everybody for joining us. We are gonna rate out. If anybody has anybody that they recommend, let me know. Otherwise, I will pick somebody from what we have. We've got Watch Holly is playing Sekiro Shadows Die twice. Let's see here.
Recording stopped.
We've got Cobbled Sprig who's playing Yakuza 0. Space M is playing Valorant. Bringer is playing Sunset Overdrive. So if you want super bright colors and
Oh,
zombies.
Sunset's fun.
We can do that. What do we got? What do we want to go to? We could also just raid Herman Lee if anybody wants to see some Dragon Force music played. Apparently Herman Lee is streaming right now. If you didn't know, Herman Lee, the guitarist for Dragon Force, actually streams on Twitch.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. It really is. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're raiding Herman Lee, everybody.
Shredding.
Let's see
shredding.
Let's see if he actually has raids turned on. He does. We are raiding Herman Lee, everybody. Let's get ready to shred some guitars. Thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow. Chris, I'm assuming you're streaming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, we didn't talk about CockCon.
Oh, we didn't talk about CockCon. CockCon is happening. We are going to be streaming that this Saturday, everybody. So we will have a special stream for CockCon this Saturday. Bye.
Yeah, mention it in your streams, guys. Mention it in your streams.
I'm not mentioning shit.
But that main camera, that's in 4K. OBS is definitely the one that used the most power. This is fun. This is like diagnostic Herman Lee's guitar streaming rig. Look at this. Wow, look at how much resources that OBS. Now you see, am I just using too many plugins and effects? Is it me? Look at that. Okay. If there's someone more nerdy than me on the computer, you can work that one out. think it's the OBS settings? It's using a lot of CPU power, man. I mean, I guess I can kind of work it out. By the way, thanks for checking out my my computer to help with this. I guess I can go into the settings right now, and instead of quality, I can change it to performance on the stream. Give me 1 sec, and then I can concentrate on playing again. What does it say? Output. Let's change it to performance instead of quality. Maybe that will change the CPU for a moment. Maybe it won't. Yeah, we'll see. You guys can see. My CPU temp is not bad. It's not. I don't even hear the fan blasting. Then again, it's water cool. But we'll look at that. I'll look at it another time, though. Don't worry. Everything is up to date. I'm a total nerd. It's just live in the universe, and everything seems working. It's a little bit. It's not smooth enough. That's my problem with it. You can see it's not perfectly smooth. There's a little bit of lag between the cameras due to the CPU usage. But this is good, you know. I have another computer that I can use to do the rendering if I really want to. It doesn't seem to make any difference here, changing quality of the stream. Yeah, it's not. I'm not doing X264 encoder. We are doing NVIDIA GPU. With no rescaling either, you know.